Oh, hello there. Yes. Well, we arrive at the weekend. Yes. You got one of those kind of from the sublime to the ridiculous things yesterday. There are lots of very farcical things going on yesterday, so I thought I'd share some of them with you about the election because they definitely were farcical. First up, there was a piece in the Telegraph by Ambrose. What a brilliant name, Ambrose. Yes, Ivans Pritchard. What a great name that is. I wish I was called Ambrose. Makes me think of custard. Anyway, yeah, he wrote up, what happens when a Labour Britain meets a semi-fascist Europe? And I thought to myself, that's interesting, because he used the word fascist there, with he's referring to all of those proud patriot parties that definitely aren't, well, they are fascist according to him, but because he's a Telegraph writer, he can actually say that. So you get all those sort of AFD types, that all those people in Britain who definitely aren't fascists and definitely aren't racists complain bitterly about our misrepresented, but it's okay for him to do it. Yeah, they are. Yeah, certain of these groups in Holland and France and elsewhere, and Italy certainly, really, really, really are. And it astounds me that people, often who are called Benito Mussolini in their actual username, will argue the toss with me about it. It's really astounding. Anyway, yeah, today is Tommy Robinson's premiere of his film in London, so it's going to be intriguing to see exactly what happens with that, with those proud patriots that are going to be out there, many of whom inevitably aren't going to be racist, as I'm constantly being told by people who have Benito Mussolini as their username. Anyway, it was funny yesterday. Anyway, moving on from that, just general hilarity at the ridiculousness of everything yesterday, in terms of especially our glorious ruling class, who just play at politics. This did catch my eye, though. Ream have said that they don't want Labour to use "things can only get better" during the election, to which I can only say thank you, Ream, because, my God, I hate that song. Yeah. It's just painful to watch it being played over Rishi Sunak. Not because, things being played over Rishi Sunak are necessarily bad, but just that song. Okay, there are standards. Yes, anyway, today we had all of the fallout from Donald Trump, and it was intriguing that two of the newspapers decided to pick up on an article that Boris Johnson had written in the Telegraph, where he suggested, like all of those other people that are perfectly rational, reasonable human beings, that Trump had been stitched up, which for those of us from a slightly different perspective called reality don't really have a problem with. But there they are. I mean, in particular in the Daily Mail, it was a mob-style hit job. No, it wasn't, was it? It was an investigation into dodgy financial dealings. Something Boris Johnson and his friends know all about, of course. But you had to smile at this. So what does Melania's deafening silence mean? Well, I don't know. What are we to make, Daily Mail, of the deafening silence of the wife of a serial adulterer who was convicted in a private court of rape, who then has his other sexual proclivities thrust upon the world stage? I don't know. It's strange. I can't quite get my head round whether or not she's very, very happy, ecstatically happy, or something else, because, as again, a lot of people will tell me in my comments, I'm not a fan of women. So I don't know. I'm astounded, Daily Mail. Let me read the article and see what you have to say. Moving on from such absolutely ridiculous notions as this, okay? We end up with, I love this in the Pink News yesterday, right, okay? Neo-Nazi who targeted drag queen story hours charged with possession of child pornography. Yes, all those people that turn up to Posey Parker events and definitely aren't Nazis and definitely are supporters of women because they're on the right side of history, because, they don't like drag queens and they don't like trans people. You just know, a bit like a Christian preacher who says that hellfire will rain down on those practicing sodomy. You just always know that they're going to get arrested at 3:30 in the morning in a parking lot with their trousers round their ankles. It's as sure as night follows day, isn't it? Hey, but there it is, inevitably. Yeah, and we had Nigel Farage yesterday. It's particularly on GB News, where he was, defending Donald Trump, because it was patently obvious to anybody that hasn't read anything about Trump's trial that he was definitely innocent. And even though Joe Biden had nothing to do with the American judicial system, it was definitely a stitch-up. He didn't get a particularly easy ride on GB News, oddly enough, but he claims now that he bitterly regrets not standing to be an MP this election. Well, Nige, there's still time, mate. Yeah, you don't have to go to America and, make a great deal of money and just, bail. You could always come back here and once again not become an MP, because we all know, like Richard Tice and GB News and the rest of them, we all know that the total number of Reform MPs at the next election will be 0. Okay? Because that nice Mr. Anderson is going to lose his seat as well, isn't he? We all know this. And of course, Nigel Farage thinks that we're stupid enough to think that he's going to, if only I could stand all the dreadfulness of it, yeah? You poor man, you poor man. Anyway, yeah, we do get my favourite one, perhaps. It was announced across the board a couple of days ago that Ian Dale, I'm a very sensible centrist, even though I'm a member of the Conservative Party, allow me to broadcast as an impartial person. Ian, wrestling pensioners to the ground, walking out of interviews because, woman challenges him. Yeah, that Ian was going to be was wanting to stand as the MP at Tunbridge Wells, which should, in normal circumstances, and I mean the stress this, normal circumstances, be a safe seat. But now, because film has emerged of him saying that he can't stand Tunbridge Wells, which is a perfectly reasonable position, it's not the world's most thrilling place, all right? Okay? There's nothing wrong with Tunbridge Wells, but you can see why some people wouldn't necessarily like it. Anyway, he's decided that he's no longer going to do that. My guess is that he's fully realised that the Lib Dems are going to take the town, and someone's just simply offered him another job where he can basically host radio shows where people can call in saying how much they don't like people like me, I suppose, and how much of a sensible centrist and good patriots they are, and definitely not racists like that Tommy Robinson. And isn't it dreadful the way that all of these people are portrayed? Now, on a broader level, right, okay, all of these characters are simply chancers, and they expect us to believe this tosh. And at the same time as pumping out this utter drivel that they do, they then will publish articles like the Daily Mail or the Daily Telegraph do, wondering why it is that young people have no faith in politics anymore. Isn't it odd? Isn't it astounding? I can't think why. It's one of those mysteries, like why Melania has been silent about Donald Trump. Who can tell what's going on inside that head? Yes. Anyway, do have a lovely Saturday. If you're going to Tommy Robinson's little screen premiere, please do take some popcorn and maybe some cocaine and some alcohol, because there should be some after hours entertainment at hand as well. Anyway, do enjoy.